Hi, welcome back. You're tuned into Chartbusters on CNBC TV 18. Well, the festive season is upon us, and as Mangalam was stating, to understand where occupancy levels stand at and what is likely to be the impact of the night curfews on their business, we now have Prabhat Verma, Executive Vice President of Operations at Indian Hotels Company, who's joining us now. Mr. Verma, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, can you tell us whether these night restrictions or the RT-PCR travel restrictions have impacted the business? What has been the occupancy level so far in December?
Good morning to both of you. Festive greetings from the Indian Hotel Company Limited. Yes, the surge in occupancies which we are seeing and we are still seeing for our leisure destination continues. In terms of the restriction that has been announced, I guess people have got used to all the restrictions, the phase-wise opening and certain news that keeps coming by. Precautions are being taken by our customers, our guests, as well as all our hotel fraternity colleagues. So it's not really a big deterrent. It's the question of resetting instead of 12 midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning to 11, 11:30. We haven't seen any kind of a major cancellations.
What usually is the kind of revenue that you see in this festive period, say the last week of December? And how has it fared this year so far, your anticipation?
So as you all know, we as an industry, we face the brunt, battered and bruised, but we're coming back very strong. From mere nothing to, the second quarter, we were nearly, say, about 25-30% of the revenue. For the months of November, December, we are almost 50% of the revenues of last year, while the leisure destinations have seen occupancies as high as 75-80% of last year.
Okay, that is good to know. But apart from festive season, it has always also been the wedding season. We've been seeing a lot of weddings taking place. How has that revenue panned out for you? What is it versus last year?
So as a specific, I will not be able to comment, but for the part of celebrations, events and weddings as an Indian cultural requirements and part of our life, we've been playing very strong on that. And thankfully, with our portfolio mix that we have with leisure destinations and palaces and all of those comes very handy. Even city large hotels have played host to many of these interesting weddings. And we've done pretty well. If you look at the numbers of small wedding, maybe the size has got lesser depending upon the state's regulations. But the number of weddings has remained more or less similar number. In some cases, the number of events have been increased because many more people could afford those luxury outings with a restricted number of people.
We didn't get the occupancy number for November and December. You did say that revenues were 50% and close to around 75-80% for some of your destinations. If you could tell us what the occupancy for November and December has been?
So as a generic, most of our hotel colleagues, and thankfully for the IHCL with our brandscape and being the strongest brand that we are, we've seen our leisure destinations do very well. So in fact, I'll be happy to say that Goa could do as well as a similar occupancy of last year. Rajasthan has done very well. Our hill stations of Theog, Rishikesh, Corbett have been doing nearly full house occupancies. And the newest brand that we launched with the Amma Homestays and Trails is almost full for all our 20 odd operating and some more that we are opening in the next few days.
Okay, and what does that mean for your F&B spends? Are they back to pre-COVID levels or it'll take some time?
F&B, as you all know, is restrictive because of the numbers, and MICE movements are curtailed. Larger weddings are not there. Conferences is still to come by. But what we've noticed in certain states, the restaurants have seen a surge. Obviously, they also come with very clear indications of the measures of protocols of safety and physical distancing that all of us maintain. So that gets reduced with the curfew is important. We have to realize that as precautions of what you heard about the mutating virus, that may have muted the celebration to some extent. But our guests have all got used to the fact that they will follow the protocol. If 11 is a time, they will. in hotels of our kind, you always get pre-booking and advance booking for restaurants. So we still feel that the numbers will be the similar kind, except that surge that you saw of celebrations outside on the street, which doesn't really come to five-star hotels as such, will not be of that kind.
We take that point. The investors just want to know a couple of things. You made an EBITDA loss of 150 crore last quarter with your occupancies at around 32%. Now you're saying occupancies could be around that 50% mark on a blended basis, assuming for this quarter. Do you make EBITDA profits?
Don't see any of these kind of financial statements forward-looking will not be something that I can comment at this moment. But it's been a good surge. It's been appreciated the way the fraternity has responded with the measures. Yes, there could be a mix, as you rightly used the word blended. Some leisure destinations would see a good number coming as close to the last year's number. But city hotels' rates are obviously under pressure. And we will see certain number of hotels, city hotels, also getting more of a leisure kind of bookings for the celebrations of the New Year, but it won't be at the same rates.
Quick follow-up, the rates you said were lower. How much would they be lower by, say, from last year, say 20, 30% or a little more than that?
It's a mix. Leisure hotels in certain cases would match up last year's number, but the city hotels would definitely be, nearly 25-30% down.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Mr. Verma, thank you so much for joining us and giving us all those details. Festive greetings to you and your company and your family as well. But it's time to shift focus to our special segment where we will get you a few ideas for profit from Money Control Pro. Anubhav Sahu of moneycontrol.com joins us now to talk about a stock that he's tracking closely. Anubhav, over to you.
Well, attention is drawn to Navin Fluorine, which is one of the two key fluorochemical companies in India. While companies' legacy businesses, that is inorganic fluoride and refrigerants, are subdued, we are constructive on account of traction for specialty chemicals and CRAMS. Now, this segment constitutes about 65% of sales. Coming to growth visibility for CRAMS, it has recently improved with the ramp-up of new facility in Dewas, and so management has increased this segment to revenue guidance in this case. As far as specialty chemicals are concerned, our key challenge we had been highlighting was capacity constraint. Now this concern is partially taken care of as company has announced 195 CR capex for setting up a plant with an initial focus on 5 agrochemical molecules. Now here point to note is that currently there is no domestic competition for these molecules. So overall this adds to our reading that company is increasingly evaluating other complex applications. Other key capex on the annual is 436 CR investment for a high performance product wherein company has struck a 7-year deal. So overall, we continue to like company Navin Fluorine, and it is among the select few firms in emerging market dealing with complex fluorination, and is seeing strong interest from multinational innovators. While the valuations are rich, given growth potential and strong balance sheet, we think investors can accumulate it during market-wide corrections.
Anubhav, thank you so much for joining with that stock, but it's time to slip into a short break. But before we do that, here's something that you, our viewers, must take note of. CNBC TV 18 and National Stock Exchange have come together to promote investor awareness through a special campaign, Informed Investor, that empowers you to make the right decisions with your money. When a stranger asks for our home or car keys, we immediately reject the proposal without having any second thoughts on it. Similarly, we need to make sure that we keep our passwords of all financial transactions confidential and do not share it with anyone. An informed investor is the one who knows that sharing passwords is as good as sharing finances.